I prayed at the bed of my mother as she prayed for relief in vain. For the prayer lines that night were all jammed up tight. There was a game at Notre Dame. The priest, he came for a visit. She asked when her prayer would go through. He said, I wish you well, but your SOL if there's a game at Notre Dame. 80,000 fans are praying at the stadium. Millions more cause the game's televised. If there's a ball in the air, your prayer ain't got a prayer when there's a game at Notre Dame. If you pray for the end of world hunger or peace for mankind to begin, better first go online, check the dates and the times of the games at Notre Dame. 80,000 fans are praying at the stadium. Millions more cause the game's televised. If there's a ball in the air, your prayer ain't got a prayer when there's a game at Notre Dame. The priest said lay back and rest now, but mama said I want to sit up and pray. He said just do it for me, your head's blocking the TV and there's a game at Notre Dame. 80,000 fans are praying at the stadium. Millions more cause the game's televised. If there's a ball in the air, your prayer ain't got a prayer when there's a game at Notre Dame. Even the Pope gave up trying to get Jesus on the line when there's a game at Notre Dame.
What's up, everyone? This is the Two Irish Brothers Show. We are live, and that was the well-known comedian Hayward Banks bringing us in with When There's a Game at Notre Dame. So we got one person watching so far, according to the viewer ticker. And Cookie Fruit, what's up, dude? How are you doing? So, guys, just to let everybody know, it is so far it's going to be just me tonight. Anybody who caught the video a couple nights ago, I said I couldn't guarantee that Ben would be here, but there's going to be a show regardless. Hopefully he does show up, though, because he knows that we are going live, and if he's not too busy, I'm sure he'll try to drop by. So, Cookie Fruit, I am doing great, my man. How are you? And while you're responding to that, I'm going to check to see where we are on the search on YouTube for Notre Dame football. That's the thing. Sometimes the YouTube search when we go live, it's not always super friendly to us. You know, you can tag the video just right, title it just right, but sometimes the algorithm works against us. You would think with over 1,100 subs, we'd have a bunch of people. Not the case, I guess. That's just the start of the show. So, but anyway, few interesting things to talk about regarding Notre Dame football. It was announced today, and myself, this is going to sound kind of strange, but I don't see the big deal about this because this was already on future schedules from when I was looking a few years ago, so I knew this was coming back. But Notre Dame and Michigan State will renew that rivalry for the Megaphone Trophy starting in 2026. Myself personally, whoop-de-doo. I couldn't really, well, I just hate Michigan State, so past history there. But regardless, I don't see what the big deal is. I knew it was coming back. We just had to take a hiatus for the ACC schedule and whatnot. Counting down the days till Indy football and A&M butt whooping. Me too. Me too. So, yeah, don't get me wrong. I know Notre Dame and Michigan State, there's a lot of history there. So I'm not trying to downplay that. I'm just saying, okay, I already knew it was coming back. So that wasn't shocking in the least. But also, anybody who probably should have done this first before I got going. But yeah, we are, as usual, we are taking your guys' calls and comments and all that. So if you want to get into the stream here, shoot, where is it? I think I tagged the wrong one. Here we go. So anybody who wants to come into the stream and chat and talk and ask a question, whatever, here it is in the live chat. There it is. Right there. Hit that. You'll get taken to the backstage area. I will bring you in. And you can ask whatever question, give whatever thought is on your mind, or just call me an asshole. I'm cool with that. But yeah, it was coming back. They announced it. Well, they made the official announcement, but I knew they were years ago. I knew they were going to take a hiatus, and it was coming back. So I had already seen on the future schedules already long before today that it was coming back. But I guess I should be happy about that. More opportunities to beat up on the Spartans. Myself, I have a personal history. Anybody who's been watching me long before teaming up with Ben. Years ago when I first started YouTube, I pissed off a Michigan State message board, and I'm not gonna lie, things got a little ugly and a little scary at times. That was my first taste of psychopaths on the internet. And this is how bad it got. They found out the names of my family members. They threatened to call my workplace. They hacked and they got this by hacking, at that time, my MySpace page, because MySpace was the thing at the time before Facebook became available to everybody. So, yeah, Michigan State, I can't say the same thing for Ben, but for me, I hate Michigan State probably most of all our rivals. Looks like there were several crystal balls predicting Jaden Blair to Notre Dame the past few days. You know, I try to keep up with recruiting, but it gets hard to sometimes. So I got to really start familiarizing myself with all these future recruits. But it got nuts. It actually went on for years. They were the ones that kept it going. But it's kind of a long story to explain everything. But I'll tell you one thing: when you find out who some of those people were, you know, the people behind the screen names, who, like, what they do and what they do for their community, but then online they have a completely different persona where they're saying some of the most awful things you can think of. I mean, there was a few of them that were making fun of a dead family member of mine. All right, let's see. I'm going to check out that recruit you were telling me about, Cookie Fruit. Jaden Blair. Okay, just like you said, 6'4" safety, 190 pounds. 4-star recruit out of Mount Tabor High School of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You know, let me tell you guys something. I'm sure you all probably know this, but the Carolinas, that's a very underrated place for football talent. There's been a lot of good players to come out of there. Yeah, so okay, he took a visit to us on June 11th, and then he's since taken visits to Michigan, Florida State, and Penn State. Oh, he can never use enough defensive backs, that's for sure. I'll have to check out some of his highlights when I get the opportunity. Actually, you know what? Now would be a good time to test out a feature that we haven't done yet on StreamYard. See if I can find some highlights of this kid, and we'll try to. All right, hang on. All right. All right. Cool. See, this is very new. Holy cow. All right. See if we can't find some more. Okay, here's one of a pick six. Kid looks pretty good. Yeah. Holy cow. All right. So it looks like I know that's not much, but based on what I saw there, looks like some he's got the size, he's got the speed, gonna be some raw talent, but looks like a kid that can be developed into something very good. Yeah, so you can only talk about the Michigan State rivalry coming back so much. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to come on and talk? You guys saw the link in the live chat, so fire away. There's definitely a couple of other things we could talk about too, but I want to give you guys the opportunity first. He will need to be coached, but you can't teach the size, athleticism, and football IQ. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just, what happens when a recruit comes in. He has the goods, but needs to be able to be coached up to play at the next level. That's for sure. Let's take a look at some others of the class of 25. Okay, we got Deuce Knight. Man, a lot of defensive backs in this class. Yeah. Yeah, it's good for college football. Do you think there is any chance we lose the Louisville game? I don't. I think Freeman and this team took that loss last year personally. I would hope so. I would hope they would come into that game with a chip on their shoulder. Well, here's the thing, Lou. You guys know me. You guys know me, and Ben well enough. We're never going to predict Notre Dame to lose ever. But Louisville showed that they showed last season that they're a sneaky team. They're still going to be a sneaky team. Just they've always had a very fast-paced offense as long as I've been watching them. But the bottom line is you can't take any team on your schedule lightly. I think we did that. We came in down in Louisville last year. We really came into that game unmotivated, flat, uninspired, and we just got outplayed and outcoached. So you got to be prepared. You got to come ready to play. And if the Irish don't do that, then the same thing will happen that did last year. Oh, and also Nick Dean. If in case you didn't see it, the link to come on and chat is here in the live chat. So I'll post the link again if you want to come on and share some thoughts and comments. There it is right there. And I'll keep posting it periodically. Yeah, no, it's the Big Ten rivals from back in the day. They're always awesome to bring back. But obviously, as we all know, the ACC agreement changed things a little bit, and so we had to be without them for a while, some of them. But ironically, USC has now become a Big Ten rival, so that's one we won't have to worry about. But no, as far as our Big Ten rivals go, Michigan State is the one I hated the most. Yeah, a lot of it is from a bad experience, like I addressed earlier. But even before that, when I'd been up to South Bend for a couple Notre Dame Michigan State games, and I tell you, some of their fans they have some of the biggest mouths, the most cocky and arrogant, and really they have nothing to be cocky and arrogant about. What really have they done? Okay, I guess they have technically done a little bit more than we have. They've won a couple major bowl games, and we haven't. We're still working on that. But really, what have they done? I don't think about USC being a Big Ten rival, LOL. I know, I don't either. But it's just they're out of the Pac-2. So they become a Big Ten rival now. But are we really supposed to be surprised that things don't make sense anymore? I mean, I was on, Cookie Fruit, I know you were there. Nick, I can't remember if you were or not, but I was on with Joey Foster and I forget Shane's last name, but I was on with them on the West Virginia Voice of College Football channel last week talking about the Catholics versus convicts rivalry. And we got into talking about this. And, Joey and Shane said it the best. And I think even Christian Ballard did too when I was on with him. Nothing in college football makes sense anymore. Geography doesn't matter. Conferences don't matter as far as who's in them and who's not. So, yeah. I don't know. So, anyway, let's keep the show going with another topic. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but any of you see the report from Andy Staples from I think he's from what is it? Yeah, on3.com. He left Notre Dame Stadium out of his top 25 for toughest places to play. What do you guys think about that? I have my opinion, but I'm going to ask you guys first. Yeah, bummer. We're still not showing up on the YouTube search. So irritating sometimes, Yeah, well, what can you do, I guess? I know Notre Dame doesn't have the biggest capacity, but you cannot tell me that they aren't in the top 25. Normally, that is something, now that someone's thrown their ring in the hat to that question, normally Cookie Fruit, but of course I'll always know you as Notre Dame 2164. Or maybe, did I screw up the numbers? Or 2641, whatever it was. Anyway, doesn't matter. I digress. Normally, I would be shocked and pissed off about that. But I honestly can't say that I'm surprised. Really, that may sound crazy to say, but I'm not surprised. 2164. I knew it was something like that. Yeah, you'll always be Notre Dame 2164. But I'm not surprised for the simple fact that look at how our fan base has been in recent years when it's come to filling the stadium. Look at the sore spots we've had. Now, I will say this. In regards to the whole stadium being left out of the 2025 Andy Staples report, I'm not surprised because we haven't done ourselves any favors. Look at the sore spots that we've had with the stadium when, like, for example, when big games come to town. Now, I will give our fans credit. They did a hell of a job turning things around when Ohio State came to town last year. There was a hell of a lot more green and blue than there was red. But it still doesn't change the fact that you look back at Nebraska in 2000, damn near half red. Georgia in 2017, damn near half red, if not more. Even when Cincinnati came to town, there was too much red. So when we're just and not to mention the fact that you got too many people there, too many cheese and wine types that tell you to sit down and be quiet when it's a football game and you're supposed to get loud. I can't say that I blame this Andy Staples for not including us on that top 25 list, because we haven't done ourselves any favors. And excuse me, I gotta let my cat out here. There you go. So we have not done ourselves any favors when it comes to stuff like that. Teams aren't afraid to come to Notre Dame Stadium anymore. They're not going to be as long as we keep this crap up. And also, I think we're also too damn friendly too. Which I'm not saying I'm not saying that you treat the opposing fans like crap. I'm not saying that. But when it comes to, be nice to them outside the stadium all you want, like during tailgating and things like that. But when it comes to that stadium, you go in there, get your ass loud, and make it a ruckus environment. And just, we haven't really been good at doing that. I'm sorry to say, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And really, the sad thing is, when you look at all the other Power 4 programs, how many teams do that? How many teams let their stadium get taken over by the opposing fans? And how many other stadiums do you see them tell fans to sit down and be quiet? I'm willing to bet not many. So am I completely shocked that Andy Staples left Notre Dame Stadium off his list? No, not at all. Oh, sorry, I wanted to read Cookie Fruits first. It made me furious when I saw how much red was in that crowd against Cincinnati in 2021. It wasn't a takeover or anything like Georgia or Nebraska back in 2000. But it was still too much. You beat me to the punch, Nick. It's like you're reading my freaking mind. I was just about to say something in regards to that. Our fans need to sell tickets to only ND fans. I know we will pay top dollar for tickets too. And the only thing I can understand about that is I get it. I get that if you're selling your ticket online, you can't necessarily, you won't always necessarily know who you're selling to. I guess that's the only pass that I can give. But yeah, I agree though. I would definitely try to go out of your way and sell to another Irish fan. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. But it's just there's too many fans in our fan base. I mean, don't get the wrong idea, guys. We have a damn good fan base. That most Notre Dame fans are great. It's just the bad ones, the shitty ones stick out way too much. And that's just it. I've had fans tell me that, I'd rather watch the game at home and sell my ticket to the crazy fan who will pay the stupid money and be comfortable. Like, well, then don't call yourself a fan then. Don't call yourself a fan if you're just going to sell your ticket just to make a quick buck that you really don't need to make. I mean, I had one guy tell me, it's kind of hard to get to games when you make $75,000 a year and you live in Elkhart, Indiana. All right, guys, here's the thing with that. I don't want to give out too much about my personal life or my work and how much money I make. But I'll just say this. I don't make what that guy does. This guy who told me this on Facebook not too long ago. But even on my salary, if let's say I could get a ticket for $700-800, even $1,000, I could find a way to swing it. So if he's making 75 G's a year, then he can swing it too without question. He's got no excuses. But that's the stupid crap that I hear all the time in these, bullshit. Bullshit. That's what it is, really. So when you guys hear me say things like fans like this don't really care about the team, it's pretty much true. Um, if someone who has season tickets get caught selling tickets to opposing team fans, then I say they are no longer eligible for season tickets in future seasons. They will get. Well, actually, I don't know. Obviously, if you got caught, you would get in trouble for selling your season tickets, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think I could be wrong, but I think there is a way that they can legally do that. I don't know. I thought I saw something with that where Notre Dame. I don't know. Maybe Notre Dame did do something. I think I remember that, but I could be wrong. I'm not exactly. Honestly, I'm not sure how it stands anymore with getting caught selling tickets. Okay, gotcha. A guy in Indy sells to only ND fans. That's cool. Let me read that again. Okay, gotcha. A guy in Indy sells to only ND fans. Yeah, that's okay. If you know him, put me in contact with him. But that's awesome. That's how it should be with fans. That's how it should be. Don't sell your ticket to opposing fans. Because I have a cousin who did that shit for a while. He would buy season tickets just so he could resell them. Notre Dame has one of the most passionate fan bases in the world. It would mean the world to me to see us win a natty. I think I would literally have tears in my eyes. I probably would too. The funny thing is, a national championship has happened in my lifetime. But you see, when we were back in 1988, well, but January of '89, when we played the Fiesta Bowl against West Virginia to cap it off, I was just about to turn 3. My birthday is January 16th. I think they played that game, New Year's Day or January 3rd that year or something like that. So I was just about to turn 3, so I couldn't really enjoy it, you know. But yeah, I would love to. I would love to enjoy one. Hell, I would love to enjoy winning a major bowl game. Which I know with the playoff format, all the major bowls are going to be included, but that would be a nice start. If we got a postseason victory in the first round, I would love that. If we got a chance to win one of the bowls in the quarterfinals, I'd love that too. That'd be an excellent start. But the end goal is obviously a national title. I was 6 years old in '88. I barely remember it. At least you have some memories of it. I already told my wife when we do it, she needs to understand I will not work the next day. Nick? And listen, this is just my sense of humor, but when you say do it, which one are you talking about? Because do it can mean a couple different things. Or maybe the other one's out of celebration after we win. Hmm? Oh, I hope I didn't make things awkward. I hope you hear that and you're laughing your ass off. I can tell you one thing though. When that does happen, I will definitely be calling off the next day as well. We're going to win a natty in the next 6 years. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I hope so too. I hope so too. I think I might run down my street screaming when we do it. Again, two different kind of do-its that you could go with on that one. I mean, quite frankly, they're both fun. They're both awesome. We do it by watching Notre Dame win it all, and then get down with our ladies. Wow. Unfortunately, me and mine just broke up. So I envy you guys. Okay, too awkward. Too awkward. See, I try to make that. My thing is I try to make people laugh. And even if it turns out to be awkward or a god-awful fail of a joke, it's worth it. It's just the attempt to make you guys laugh is worth it. But, seeing the word natty, I got to tell you guys this. On all the Notre Dame groups, especially the ones on Facebook, that's where I see a lot of the shitty Notre Dame fans. The quote, "Oh, I got to do this. Cookie Fruit, I know you'll like this." All the quote unquote Notre Dame realists in our fan base, that's where they all come from. It seems like all the Facebook groups. Never have I seen more shitty fans in all my life. That's what they call themselves, realists. When we made the playoffs in 2020, the COVID year against Alabama, we found out we had to play Alabama in the semis. Never in a 1 month period have I ever heard the realists more in my life. I actually want to make a T-shirt that involves that word, and we can sell it to all you guys. Maybe you might like it. But anyway, I digress with that. But a lot of those people on those groups, there was one guy in particular. He had such a shit fit when I would say the word natty as short for national title. Just like, I don't know what his deal was. Maybe he's just the grumpy old man that mows his lawn 4 or 5 times a week and doesn't like anybody. I don't know. But he had such a shit fit about me using the word natty, saying that that I need to grow up and learn how to pronounce. It's like, it's just slang, dude. It's just slang. But my God, some of these people, geez. I mean, I know it's been a while since the last national championship or a major bowl win, but damn. Calm the frick down. I think Freeman is the type to stay at Notre Dame even after 1 or more national championships. I truly believe he wants to bring the program back to dominance. I hope so too. I really do. Now, of course, myself, there's always that fear, if you will, of when the Ohio State job becomes available again and he wants to go there because that's his alma mater. It's like, I'd understand it, but it's like, Marcus, we want you to stay, man. I want you to stay. We also played Bama in 2012. I don't like to remember that either. I was down there for that game. I mean, I didn't get inside to the stadium because it was stupid money. But yeah, it was pretty miserable. Anyway, I saw that we have a few more viewers here. So again, just another reminder here in the live chat. This is the link to come in and chat with me if you want to. Just click that link. It'll take you right to the back room, and I'll bring you in. But it's like all this realist talk, like when the people say they're a realist, all they're really saying is that they're a crappy fan who has no confidence in the team whatsoever. And my thing with that is, well, what do you expect? When you make the playoffs, do you really think it's going to be easy? Do you think you're going to play somebody easy? I don't think so. Whether it's 4 teams or 12, it's going to be hard no matter what. So I just don't understand that logic. I'll never forget there was that famous clip that was circulating on Twitter where that one woman was watching the playoff selection show and they announced that we were playing Alabama and she was just huffing and puffing. And it's like that kind of stuff just excuse me. That stuff just contributes to how people see us and how, how pathetic, it's pathetic. There's too much of that in this fan base. It's like, no, you get, regardless of who you are going to play, you go balls to the wall, you get excited and get ready to whip some ass. And whatever happens on the field happens. But the fact that we had so many people be disappointed that we made the playoffs. I mean, has there ever been another power school that has done that, where their fan base has been upset about making the playoffs? Absurd. I can't stand the whole realist crap that just give people an excuse to be a crap fan. Exactly. And anybody who tries to be an apologist for those types of fans, I'll tell them to piss off. They're part of the problem too. I mean, I know I mention this stuff a lot and I repeat myself quite a bit, but I like to, address this. And I'll keep addressing it until it changes. I saw the video of that lady and it infuriated me. She does not represent true Notre Dame fans. And what I won't forget about that is Rocco Spindler, one of our offensive linemen. Yeah, he wasn't even at the university yet. He'd committed, but he wasn't at the university yet. He wasn't enrolled. He was going ape shit. He was loving it. And I'm just like, that's the kind of energy we need. Do you think the A&M game is going to be that tough? They are ranked 7th or 8th in the SEC. We should win by at least 10. Or 10 at least, excuse me. Well, like I've said numerous times, you can never underestimate any of your opponents, especially when it's on the road. And Kyle Field, that is not an easy place to play in. It gets loud. Texas A&M, they're passionate fans. So we're going to need to be ready when we come in there. So I think it's going to be a dogfight. I don't think we blow them out by like 30 or anything like that. But I do see, excuse me, I do see a 10-point victory being a strong possibility. Absolutely. And we got our first call of the night. Golden Playbook. What's up, dude?
How's it going? Can you hear me?
No. Just kidding. Loud and clear. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
It's better. I had to put my headphones in. Sorry. Yeah. How's it going with you? Going pretty good?
Yeah, it's going pretty well, actually. Can't complain about too much. So let's hear your thoughts, man. What's on your mind?
Okay, so you were talking about like the negative fans on the page. Well,
when do I not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, man.
That's all right. Yeah, there was this one guy on there that was basically that I was arguing with, basically like wishing them to lose and all that. He's basically saying they have no chance this year and all that, this and that. Like,
was this on our page?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody I probably took care of.
Yeah. And like you were saying too, it's kind of weird because it's always like old people. It's like it's always the older people, the older fans that act like that, but they should be telling us younger fans, to quit being negative,
Yeah. Absolutely. And the thing is, people forget too that even though we have things like the NIL now and all the stuff, paying players and whatnot, you got to remember these are still kids too. They're just entering adulthood. They're still trying to mature, and take it easy.
Yeah,
that's a big factor out of all this too. And what are you going to get out of being negative all the time?
Right.
Because that energy is going to spread onto the coaches and the players, and it's even recruits, because they're going to see, well, man, this fan base sure does turn on its team pretty quick. Why would I want to come play here?
Right. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, it's sickening, man. Yeah, honestly. Um,
Yeah.
and
So you were saying this guy was saying that we don't have a chance, this and that, and
yeah, he
go
was
ahead with that.
yeah, he was basically saying that that we don't have a chance. He was all saying that they should fire Freeman and this and that, like basically just not giving him a chance, like you know. And a lot of them don't really like Mike Denbrock either for some reason, which is insane. I think if I had to choose anyone, I think he's better than Parker. Like he's more experienced. Not I think he is. I think he's just more experienced. Like um and yeah, so I'm willing to take the more experienced guy any day of the week.
Well, it's a fact that Parker, yeah, he was a first time offensive coordinator. Everybody, so why would anybody be acting surprised that if he got some things wrong?
Right.
But the thing is, in my personal opinion, I think Jared Parker was an experiment. I think Marcus Freeman took a chance on him, hoping for the best. Unfortunately, I mean, he didn't do the worst job that I've ever seen as far as a coordinator goes, but it's not what we needed. You need some experience. And I'm all for young blood. Don't get me wrong, some new blood, but it just wasn't the right time for it. And I think Parker now, with him going down to where did he go? Was it Troy?
Yeah, Troy.
Yeah, University of Troy. That'll be a good place for him to get his feet wet and get some more experience.
Yeah.
But we got Mike Denbrock, who is known to put together explosive offenses, and we've got a lot of talented players with him for him to work with. And just to add on to your point, Golden Playbook, one of the comments that I saw from an idiot was that we don't have a very good receiving core or a very good receiving room.
Yeah.
I don't know what sites he's been reading, but yeah, we lost a lot of guys to the portal, but look at all the guys that we brought in too. I mean, in this day and age, you can fix something just like that.
Right.
I mean, let's talk about that for a second. You got a receiving room that includes Chris Mitchell, who comes in from Florida International, Bo Collins from Clemson, returning Jordan Faison, who's had in my opinion, he showed the potential that he truly has. He showed how good he can be. So I think he will contribute. You have guys like Jaden Thomas coming back. I forget, is Deion Colsey still with the team?
I don't remember. I don't remember if he transferred or. I think he is. Maybe.
Well, and then of course you got the tight ends as well, and Mitchell Evans and Eli Reardon and so on. Flanagan.
Yeah.
So the people who say these stupid things, I guess you just can't fix stupid.
Yeah. I personally think that this wide receiver room has been in the best place it's been in a long time, honestly. And the quarterback room as well. But yeah, we're starting to get, the wide receiver room, going finally.
I do think that there was a lot of underperforming last year. I mean, I'm not gonna trash Sam Hartman, but let's just say things didn't work out the way we all thought it would.
Yeah.
Because these receivers, you get the right kind of quarterback, they're going to be explosive.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, anything else on your mind, dude? Because I want to give someone else a chance to get in here if they want.
Yeah, I just wanted to just talk about like the season just real fast.
Sure.
Just give my overall thoughts just real quick. And obviously, I do think that we have a chance this year for sure. Think that the schedule is favorable, and it's more like I think it's better than last year's in a way because this year seems like it's more like spread out, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we have a good chance, this year. I really do with all the talent that we bring back, and that defense I think is going to be really, really, really good this year.
I
Um,
agree.
and the running back room, and we're starting to get it moving. We're starting to get the quarterback room moving, and also the wide receiver room. But
The only thing that concerns me a little bit is with Jabron Payne going down. I think it was an ACL injury or something, I believe. We don't know for sure what all we have behind Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. So, which I got to look up all our players here, because I mean basically after Jabron Payne, it's a bunch of freshman running backs.
yeah,
And there's one I forget his name. Where was it? Oh, Kedron Young. He was the one that I was thinking of. Out of Kedron Young, and I think there's another freshman. I'm just not seeing him. But I thought there was a kid, unless he's not enrolled at the school yet. But I thought there was like a kid named Amias something. I knew that, but I know there was a couple of freshman running backs that behind Aeneas. Thank you, Pira. Aeneas.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's not. I think he's not listed on here because he's not enrolled yet. I think the roster's only guys who are enrolled. Well, that's what we have the good old internet for.
Yeah, we're really starting to, get it all moving though, I think.
Aeneas Williams.
Oh, Aeneas Williams. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we've got a lot of the pieces in place to make a run at it. And of course, even though it hasn't exactly been the case exactly these past 20 years or so. Brian Kelly did it. He at least got there anyway. But third year for a Notre Dame head coach.
Yeah, and I definitely think like we have to make the playoffs this year. Honestly, I really do. Like,
well, the thing is, you brought up a good point. The schedule does favor us. I mean, yes, it's not easy because there's you got Texas A&M, you got USC, you got Florida State, Louisville, who is a sneaky ass team, Purdue,
yeah.
who is a rival. And I'm going to be completely honest with everybody, and I'm just going to acknowledge it. Yes, I would rather not be playing two MAC schools and two service academies, but there's nothing that we could have done about Miami having to push this year's meeting back, or not trying to, like, when the slot for the Army game. It looked like we were very limited with that particular week of the schedule, because I think I could be wrong on this, but it came down to Army, SMU, and I forget who that other team was. I think it might have been an American Athletic or a Mountain West team. I forget, but we weren't left with much of a choice. So, I mean, you do the best you can in a situation like that. But no, I think the schedule's pretty well balanced. And so if we go 12-0 or even 11-1, I think we have a good chance of making that that 12-team playoff field.
Yes. But it all really depends on, I guess the Texas A&M game. That's really going to be like telling.
Well, you gotta start things off with a bang, and then go from there.
Yeah. But I definitely think, with the 12-team playoff, I don't think there's really an excuse this year. Personally, that's just my personal opinion.
Well, we always set the bar high, and that's how it should be.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, that's all I got. All I got to say is that, yeah, we're starting to get everything. I think we're starting to get things rolling now, finally.
Yeah.
To see how it plays out, I guess. And go Irish.
Damn right, go Irish. Well, thanks for coming on, Playbook. It's always good to hear from you.
All right, yeah, have a good one.
You too. All right, that is That was Golden Playbook, a longtime viewer of our show and a longtime follower of a Facebook page that I help run. So, anybody else want to come on and talk? Come on, you want to talk to me. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to, and you don't need to be shy. I think even when I've been pissed off, I'm a pretty likable guy. But I will catch up on your guys' comments here. Fred Benson. I didn't see you come in, Fred. Another longtime viewer of ours. And Fred Benson says, I was 18 when Notre Dame defeated West Virginia in the 89 championship, the Fiesta Bowl. We have a good chance to win title number 12 because FSU doesn't have the key players from 2023. And that's a good point to bring up. And you could even argue, why do I even bring up Florida State? That is true. Jordan Travis is no longer there. All their other weapons aren't there. I mean, yeah, you have DJ Uyunglele coming in, which I guess this will be his fifth team that he's playing for. So you have a quarterback that does have some veteran experience. And even though the Florida State has lost a lot, I can't just write them off and say that they're not a threat, because they are. When you're a team like Notre Dame that has a target on its back week in and week out, everybody's going to bring their absolute best for you. But no, you're right. That's a good point to bring up about everything that Florida State has lost. Nick Dean, they are all weird with their white overalls. The first half will be tough, but we pull away in the second. Okay. Going back to the Texas A&M game. Yeah, because you got to have, not only do you have to have respect for your opponent on the field, you have to have respect for the environment as well. And Kyle Field, or Kyle Stadium, they call him the 12th man for a reason. The problem with A&M is that they are very talented. Also, playing in that stadium can be challenging. Having said that, A&M hasn't played up to their talent, and we should win comfortably by 10. I hope so. But I'll tell you one thing: all the money that they dished out for all those recruits, that really backfired, didn't it? But another thing to be wary of too is look who their head coach is now, Mike Elko. Defensive coordinator for us. So it's safe to say he's going to know a thing or two about us. Oh, this is to Nick talking to Fred. I was 17 and man, it was great. I won $100 from my cousin who graduated from West Virginia. Awesome. Okay, yes, this was in reference. Okay, yeah, a couple of you guys said it. Colsey is with the team. I wasn't sure if he was one of the transfers or not. He kind of balled out in the spring game. Yes, he did. I can't wait to see what Faison and Greathouse do this year. And that's the thing I wanted to say real briefly is, yeah, we lost in regards to the receiving room. We did lose a lot. I mean, we had Rico Flores transfer, which I was kind of shocked that he did, because I thought he really had a chance to really take his game to the next level. Tobias Merriweather, that losing him hurt. And there's one more that's Chris Tyree, but Chris Tyree didn't really surprise me because you see a lot of graduate students do that. They always transfer for their senior year. So Tyree didn't really surprise me too much, but it still sucked to lose him. Everyone's saying our wide receivers and O-line are going to determine how far we go. Yeah, they're going to need to step up. Yeah, Payne was an ACL, and both the freshmen are supposed to be studs. I mean, that's what I hear. Yeah, and Aeneas Williams, whose name I couldn't think of, I remember watching the spring game too, and I thought he balled out as well. Yeah, I was there, and he did look good and big for a freshman. Audric Estime 2.0. Shoot, he might be Audric Estime 3.0 because look at the size of Jadarian Price. Shoot, the more bruising backs you can have, the better. DJ is scared of Notre Dame. Remember 2020? Oh, I haven't forgotten. Well, hell, remember 2018 as well. Oh, wait a second. We played DJ twice. Yeah, 2020 and then 2022. Needless to say, in 2 games, DJ hasn't been able to do squat against us. And I hope that trend continues this year. I think Tyree wanted to be the man somewhere. I can understand that. You get guys who just aren't seeing the field and they have all this talent. So I can understand it. So that's where some of you guys might think I'm nuts for saying this, but that's where some positives of the transfer portal come into play. I mean, the 2 positives, in my opinion, of the transfer portal are this. What I just said about, guys wanting to get on the field and show people what they can do, because these guys do have talent. But just when the depth is so high, when the depth is so high in front of them, it sucks losing them, but you got to think they're doing it for their future. It's not our future. It's theirs. And then, of course, when your team gets decimated by graduation, injuries, and whatnot, gives you a chance to fill that hole right away, and they don't have to sit out a year. Because I'm not going to lie, that sit out a year, I always hated that when guys transferred. Because it's not always fair to them. And I know I've told this story before, but I remember, I think it was on ESPN, Jesse Palmer said this. He's like, well, what if we have a new coach come in and he brings, say, a triple option offense with him? Well, I'm screwed then because I don't run a triple option and I transfer somewhere and I have to sit out a whole year. So that's where I think the transfer portal is a good thing in situations like that. But of course, yeah, I mean, if you have guys that just can't cut it and they are thinking like, man, this is bullshit, I'm going somewhere else, and they're just being a wuss about things, then yeah, that's where it sucks. Fred says, in 2020 and 2022, we beat DJ. Clemson was the number 1 team in 2020. Yep, I do remember that, of course, when we beat them and Trevor Lawrence had COVID. Yeah. And the funny thing is, people like to give us crap about, oh, you only won because Lawrence didn't play. Well, I remember DJ in that game. He still put up better numbers than what Lawrence did at times. He put up numbers that were just as good. So Clemson was still worthy of being ranked the number one team, and that victory was still worthy of us saying that we beat the number one team. Yeah, DJ has PTSD from 2022 Notre Dame. Probably. College football has become so player-centered. It's not all bad, and I hated that sit a year rule out too. We have so much talent on this team. Like you were saying, the schedule isn't Cupcake City, but it's more favorable than last year's. We should make a run this time, I think. It's time to get moving. Yes. Exactly. His stats were ridiculous. 350 yards passing, 70 on the ground, and I think between the two stats, like 5 touchdowns total or something like that. So he was a force against us that year. So again, if anybody wants to come in, here's the link to come into the stream with me. Been on for an hour and 7 minutes. Might see about going another half hour. Discussion's been pretty good so far. Just to start some conversation about something else. I know a couple of you guys on here that I'm seeing caught this last week. I think, I know Cookie Fruit, you saw it. Nick, I can't remember if you were there or not, but I know a couple of you guys saw me on Joey Foster's show, Joey Foster and Shane from the West Virginia Voice of College Football channel. I was on there last Thursday, and it was good that night. But really, I want to talk about the night that I wasn't on, because see, we were talking about initially the Catholics versus convicts rivalry. And they did it one night with me being the Notre Dame representative. And then I think it was the next night or the night after, they did another episode talking about it with from the Miami perspective, with a Miami fan who is a guy that I just cannot stand. I didn't want to be on with him because he's an asshole. And I remember I told Joey that, hey, I have history with this guy, and I don't want to ruin the stream by arguing with this guy, this dumbass, because he's not worth it. Well, I guess I would like to get some words in if I had the chance, but it's not a top priority, put it that way. But some of the people on that stream, aside from the guy that was on the Miami fan that was on with them, so a couple of guys that called in just gave me an absolute freaking headache listening to some of the crap they were spewing. Listen, you guys have heard me say plenty of times, if you've followed us for a long time, if Notre Dame were to ever join a conference as a full-time member, I don't care. It's really not that troubling to me. It doesn't bother me. The only thing I care about is get the job done on the field. Conference, independent, makes no difference. I don't care. But I swear to God, some of these people that are obsessed with not only wanting us in a conference, but in particular the Big Ten. I mean, we had one guy on there that, I don't like to be a mean guy, but I swear to God, he sounded like, I think he might have called into our show before too. I could be wrong. But this one dude who literally sounded like a cross between Barney Gumble from The Simpsons and Jimmy Witchard from King of the Hill. And Jimmy Witchard is, if you're not familiar with that character, this picture might ring a bell. That guy. I mean, if you heard the guy's voice, that's what this dude sounded like. But it was a cross between that guy, that Jimmy Witchard from King of the Hill, and Barney from The Simpsons. And this guy was starting to go on and on saying, well, if Notre Dame doesn't join the Big Ten or a conference at all, they're gonna get left behind, and just some of the dumbest shit that I ever. It's an echo chamber. It's a damn echo chamber. There was another guy on there too that said it, and that guy I know. And this, I mean, but this obsession with wanting us to be in a conference, but especially the Big Ten. Why? Oh my God. Because here's the thing. First off, that comment about us getting left behind was so stupid. And you guys can go back on Joey's channel and watch it. And if Joey, if you and Shane happen to see the streamer, if you're watching right now, I'm not bad-mouthing your show. I'm not at all. I'm talking about some of the people that called in, just to clarify that. But this, first off, independence or conference, we're never going to get left behind. I'm not trying, and as a fan, I'm not trying to toot Notre Dame's horn here, but with our brand and recognition and the how the fans travel and the money we pull in, Notre Dame is not going to get left behind if we stay independent. So I thought that comment was just asinine. Completely asinine. And we're going to get left behind if we don't join a conference and this and that. Shut the hell up. I hope that guy's watching. I'd love for him to come on. But probably not, because his voice literally gave me a headache. I mean, no joke, guys. After listening to that, and this other guy who I also know, that we actually used to work with him, if you want to call it that, just this obsession with the Big Ten, wanting us to be in the Big Ten. It's like, shut up. This echo chamber. That's all I can say. But it's giving me a headache now just thinking about it. You know, while I get my thoughts together, I'll take some of your comments here. And don't be afraid to call in if you want to. It's a lot better. It's a lot better and a lot more fun to do it if you guys call in. Don't be afraid. What's your take on Ian Book? The fan base always hates on him. Some of them say he wasn't that good. He wasn't elite, but I think he was as good as Brady Quinn. I don't know why people shit on Ian Book. It's not fair to the kid. He did a damn good job for us. I'm not going to say he was elite or anything of the sort, but he put up some damn good numbers, and he did some wonders for us. And he played his heart out. Nick Dean says, I am older than you. Love our independence, but if we join a conference, it should be the Big Ten for money and the rivals we would get back. And, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think this is what I was trying to think of when I was trying to get my thoughts together. With the money that we're getting from NBC and from the ACC and so on, because I forget what the number was, but we just signed a pretty sizable deal with NBC. We don't need to join a conference. We're still making a crap load of money, but also, and some people are worried about, you know, us not being able to get that first round bye in the playoffs. That the highest we can go is 5. Well, I should have downloaded the clip, but I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Crane and Company, that sports show on the Daily Wire. These guys made an excellent point on something. All we have to do is win in the regular season, and we're it for starters. But here's something that's more important than that. We get an extra week to rest, because we don't play in a conference. We don't have to play in a conference championship game. We at that point in the season, we'd have a pretty good idea of who we're going to be playing in the playoffs in the first round. And we get an extra week of film on that team. And that's vital. That's vital to have that extra week of film. Now, of course, no, the playoffs are not going to let Notre Dame have a bye during the conference championship week and then a bye in the playoffs. They can't let that happen. But we're sitting pretty good. So it's a great situation to be in, and people just aren't looking at the entire picture. And besides, also something I pointed out too is if you sit out all this extra time, there's always that possibility you could come in a little rusty. So I'd take that quote, that unofficial bye week during the conference championship week, and then use it for that first round and keep fresh. But going back to your comment, Nick, I get it with the rivals that we'd have back. I see where you're coming from on that, and I understand it. But it's just at the end of the day, it's about what's best for the university and for the team. Other programs are mad because we can not only survive but thrive as an independent. Meanwhile, they have to be in a conference to survive. Very good point. Now, are there some other teams that could thrive as independents? Of course, but you're right that they are pretty much, they're set. They can't really leave if they wanted to. They always say that we're scared. I always hear it. It's so annoying and stupid. People are so obsessed with us. Seems like jealousy. We have won national championships as an independent. Well, hell, when we were winning national championships, a ton of these big schools were independents. People seem to forget that too. And plus, we showed in 2020 that we're not afraid to play in a conference. That's the most annoying part. We would have been in the Big Ten if it wasn't for Fielding Yost. People need to educate themselves. Well, good luck. There's two people that are too stupid to know how to do that. And for those of you who are new, for those of you who are watching that might be new, I'm brutally honest with things. I'm tired of being nice on everything. I just tell it like it is sometimes. Nick says it's like $15 to $17 million more a year if we join the Big Ten or SEC, and that's before the playoff money is added. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but what's 15 to 17 million to Notre Dame? I mean, you should see what we make, what the university makes annually. I mean, 15 to 17 million is kids' money. Yes, we tried joining the Big Ten twice. I know that golden playbook, but that was over 80 years ago, and we have to adapt. Well, again, it depends on what kind of adaptation. I mean, if we don't need to be in a conference, then we're going to stick with it. I'm not bad mouthing you. I'm not bad mouthing you, Nick. So don't take it as that. But we're not in trouble. So if we're not in trouble, why do we need to adapt? But like I was saying, this obsession. Oh shit! Some more comments just popped up. If Notre Dame needs $15 million, they can raise it without a problem. Yeah. Geez, you guys should see what alumni and wealthy donors give to them on a yearly basis. It's absurd. Nick says, to Notre Dame, that's chump change. I know, but damn, it would cover a lot of cool uniforms. They could, like Cookie Fruit just said, they could do that now. They could come up with that no problem. Notre Dame doesn't need a conference as a conference needs Notre Dame. That's the way I look at it. Well, in the Crane & Company show, they said the same thing. Notre Dame is the last pretty girl left at the dance, and I agree. I'm just scared we might get screwed like Florida State if we stay independent. No, dude, listen, even as an independent, if we do what is asked of us, especially with a bigger playoff field, which I wish they would play it down in this era first before they start talking about expansion. But they're looking to go to 14 after this current contract runs out. Which, yeah, I think they need to slow down a little bit and play a season under this format before they start talking about expansion. But no, with a bigger playoff field, if we do what's asked of us, they're not going to keep us out. I mean, the only way that we would get left out is if, well, put it this way, a lot would have to happen. I mean, if we do what's asked of us, then they can't keep us out. There's just too much that would need to happen to do that. Like if this Notre Dame team went 12-0, I mean, damn, there would have to be a hell of a lot. Like teams behind us would have to, or in front of us even, would have to have huge resumes that outrank us, and that would be pretty damn hard to do. With a 12-0 Notre Dame team. Got to go 12-0 or at the very least 11-1 every year. Yeah, I agree. But we're the way this team is trending, the direction that we're going, they're a team that can do that. But it's like I was saying, guys. I mean, look, it doesn't matter to me if we're independent or in a conference. Just get it done on the field. But when you hear these fans, like what I heard last week, that are obsessed, super obsessed with the Big Ten, which honestly we could, if with our current contract with the ACC, we would have to join them first anyway. We can't, because it's in the contract. If we decide to become a full conference member before, when does the contract run out? I forget when it runs out, but if we join a conference as a full-time member before the contract ends, it has to be the ACC. The only way we could join the Big Ten is if, the ACC get the voters that want the guys that want to leave, if they get the whole vote, the whole grant of rights stuff, and the ACC collapses, then yeah, we're free to do whatever we want then. I wish the ACC would stay together, though, because do you really want to have all these conferences that are top loaded? It's ridiculous. And also, it's I gotta say, it's kind of ridiculous that people think like no way in hell would we join the SEC. If we did, then I'd just be like, you got to be shitting me. I can't believe that people. No, Nick, I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm talking mainly about this ridiculous caller that I heard on Joey Foster's show last week. Yeah, not obsessed with joining any conference, just the Big Ten would be my choice. I think the contract runs out in 2028. Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm not saying that you're one of those guys. I don't think you're obsessed. You're making a case, and so far your case has been very fair. But I'm just saying this guy was a complete wacko. Saying that, I mean, we're not. Look, if the only way that we're in trouble as an independent is if the NCAA or the playoff committee makes a rule that says every team that wants to play in the playoffs has to be in a conference. Then yeah, we would be stupid to be an independent then in a scenario like that. Oh, good. I'm glad. Because I would say, believe me, if I was bad mouthing you, you'd know it. So yeah, and 2028, huh? Okay. I was going to say something, but I lost my train of thought. I freaking hate that. It'll come back. What would be awesome is to see more good teams become independent than what would happen to the conferences. Like I said before, for the longest time, a lot of these big programs were independent. It wasn't just us. I mean, Florida State wasn't independent. Miami wasn't independent. West Virginia wasn't independent. You know, and things went pretty well for decades. But I can understand why teams join conferences because it made scheduling easier. And yeah, when you're having multiple teams in a season claim national championships and some of them over the dumbest reasons, I can understand that. But all I know is, as far as we're concerned, if we don't have to, don't. They do? No. I'm just teasing, man. No shit. You know, you listen to the crap that comes out of Feinbaum's mouth in particular. And I get it. He's probably putting on a show. But you can put on a show and still be an idiot. Christian Ballard would hate me for saying that, but Feinbaum is just a douche. I'm sorry. He is. Oh, I know what I was saying. When I was talking about people saying that Notre Dame should join the SEC. Why on earth would we join the SEC? It is not a fit at all. And people will probably say, "Oh, well, that means you're just afraid to play against teams from the South." Yeah. Nope, it's just not a fit. I would have no problem playing teams from the South. I mean, we have before. Back-to-back wins against LSU in recent matchups. Gave Georgia a run for their money a couple times. Alabama's been the one that we've struggled with recently. We have Arkansas coming up on the schedule. We have Texas A&M this year, obviously. But it's just not a fit. And honestly, I'm surprised that Texas and Oklahoma wanted to join so bad. I mean, I get it. Money, of course. But from a football standpoint, that Big 12 conference got stronger. And if Oklahoma and Texas were still there, they'd be on their way back to being competitive. Don't forget Herbie, too. He never picks Notre Dame. I'll say this. Herb Street doesn't piss me off like other guys do. I'll say that much. Golden Playbook says it's not like those schools were forced to join a conference. They chose to. Feinbaum glazed Saban every chance he got. You know what the funny thing is? Paul Feinbaum, I always thought he was pretty much an Alabama homer. No, wait. No, I take it back. He's just an SEC homer in general. But what I find funny, I got that crossed up. Feinbaum, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he got his start in broadcasting and whatnot in Alabama. And I kind of always thought it was the other way around, too, at various times that he was an Alabama nut hugger. Maybe the guy's just bipolar. I don't know. Yeah, we just had a home and home with Georgia. I wish they would do that again. Exactly. That's what I thought. That he was he had the hugest man crush ever on Nick Saban. Mad Dog Russo is as well. I don't even listen to him, so. Feinbaum acted like his dog died the day after Clemson killed Bama in 2018. Yeah, I know. But the funny thing is, though, he thinks that the comment that he made that I think was most ridiculous was when he said that Notre Dame should never be allowed in the playoffs again because of our showings. Well, my God, Oklahoma, if we shouldn't be allowed in for all the times we've lost in the playoffs, then why should Oklahoma be allowed? Why should they never be allowed back in again? They're 0-4 too, and we're not the only ones that have been killed in the playoff games. All right, I tell you what, guys, I'll be right back. I have to take care of something real quick. Got to see a man about a horse. So I'll be back shortly. Great. I thought I would have lost some viewers, but appreciate your guys' tolerance. But I'm not going to be like that one Notre Dame fan. And if those of you who don't know about this, you can look this up. There was a dude, I think it was on Irish Sports Daily or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was Brian Driscoll's show. I could be wrong, but dude shit his pants. No joke. The dude shit his pants during the show, and I'm pretty sure it was a live show as well. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to embarrass myself like that. All right, let's see what you guys have been saying while I was away. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to go see A Man About a Horse. My grandfather used to say that all the time. Mad Dog Russo had a daughter that went to Notre Dame, and he dislikes us for some reason. I don't even know who the hell this guy is. At least not by name, anyway. Oh, that guy, Mike and the Mad Dog. Okay, I know who that is now. I just didn't know his actual name. I only knew him as Mad Dog. But him and those guys from New York. But I didn't know that he hated Notre Dame. Let's see. Maybe there's something I can find here. Okay, this is what I'm seeing so far. His daughter did not get in or was waitlisted at Boston College and Holy Cross, where she wanted to go apparently. And yet she was admitted to Notre Dame on a provisional acceptance based on prospective grades, which, by the way, all kids are provisionally accepted in some sense. If you start failing, you are not staying at most institutions. Well, no shit. If there is a continuous pattern of D's and F's over more than one course or one semester or even 1 year, and kids lose scholarships when their grades fail or when their grades fall. And for the record, Kira was accepted to other institutions, including Wake Forest. So Russo's points were, in sum, 1, lower-ranked schools rejected his daughter while higher-ranked schools accepted her. 2, there was no logic or rationality to the decisions when her data are compared to those that are publicly available as to admissions criteria. 3, where she lived in a Connecticut suburb should not play a role in admissions, that it is the merits of the applicant that should count. And 4, when a child has her heart set on a place, it's hard to accept. Okay, so that's just common sense stuff with universities and colleges. So I don't know what the hell he's all pissed off about. Yes, if you're on the edge and there's some kind of probation or whatever in place, no shit. So if that's what he's pissed off about, he's pissed off over something stupid. And that's pretty well known. Always Irish in his podcast called Feinbaum, Five-Head Feinbaum. I did not know that. I haven't had a chance to listen to John much. Not enough hours in the day, man, I tell you. There have been a lot of blowouts in the semifinals, yes. We're not the only team. Yeah, exactly, like I just said. Did you see what Stephen A. Smith did you see what Stephen A. said? ND was irrelevant, and then his network is opening the season with an ND game. What a dude! He's the same way. Stephen A. Smith. He is just a piece of shit who is a big mouth he's a big mouth race baiter who tries to act intimidating. And I probably shouldn't have made that comment, but Screw it. I'm telling you guys the truth. Now, I don't like to bring politics or social issues on here, but sometimes you can't help but just tell the truth. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith is a moron, a douchebag. He's basically trying to be the Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton of ESPN. A race baiting piece of shit with a big mouth. Fred's asking Cookie Fruit, did Feinbaum really cry when his beloved Crimson Tide got destroyed by Clemson in 2018? Nick Dean from Golden Playbook, yes, he's a douche. Yeah, Fred, I thought he was sobbing on the air. Wouldn't surprise me if Feinbaum was. Then he was crappy on us for not winning a natty since 1988 when there has been many teams that haven't won a natty in many years. Yeah, you beat me to the punch on Georgia, Golden Playbook. It was 1980 for them. So, yeah, why is that doesn't make sense. He's hard on us for not having won since 88, but yet there's other teams that haven't won in decades. If you want to get technical, Iowa and Minnesota, they haven't won one since the 50s and 60s. So should they not be allowed in if they have some success? Thank you for that, Sean. Well, it's true. If you're talking about the guy who pooped his pants on a live stream on, I'm pretty sure it was Brian Driscoll's show. But yes, you could look it up. The dude shit his pants. Anyone else smell that shit? He said he has a daughter that, yeah, okay, going back to the Mad Dog. Yeah, exactly. Russo is like Feinbaum. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. They're pretty much the same. Only Feinbaum is from the South. Russo is from the North in New York. So he has that strong New York accent. Yeah, man, I'm from New York. I'm gonna sound all tough and talk my mouth and run my shit. Only I think his is a little higher like this. I think that's how he sounds. I could be wrong. Stephen A. has brought up the fact that Marcus Freeman is is a black man more. No shit. Listen. I'm going to tell all of you guys right now. I don't give a rat's ass about color. And nobody should. I see Marcus Freeman as a young, up-and-coming head coach that can do wonders for Notre Dame. This obsession with skin color is absurd. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. Has Michigan State ever won a natty? I don't know. Actually, 1966, that belongs to us. Unless we split it with them, which I didn't think we did. Okay. Michigan State in total claims 6. 51, 52, 55, 57, 65, and 66. Again, claim. A lot of teams can claim. That doesn't necessarily make them the champions. Yeah, I know. I mean, they can claim it all they want, but they didn't beat us. Granted, we didn't beat them either, but still. Man, I still can't believe we're not showing up on the YouTube search yet. When you search Notre Dame football, usually we show up. Oh well, still had a nice turnout tonight, regardless. I don't have too many good things to say about Michigan State. I covered that earlier, but still, I'll say it again. The sad part is they have some good people in their fan base, but just a lot of them, they're just cocky and arrogant, mouthy bastards, which really they haven't done shit. Yeah, there were. I don't deny that. I've been to 3 Notre Dame MSU games in 2003, 2005, and I think 2007. Yes, I was there in 2007. And a lot of their fans are some of the biggest pricks I've ever met. Big mouth and arrogant and full of themselves. And they really, for the most part, haven't done shit. You know, people say we haven't done shit. They certainly haven't done shit. And it's funny, most people would expect me to say USC or Michigan would be number one on that list. Nope. But for those of you who weren't here earlier, the long and the short of it is this. When I first started doing YouTube in 2009, I made a video about Michigan State it was a joke. It was putting them down, but in a joking fashion. And I admit, the comedy in it was terrible. But it got picked up. 2 weeks later, it got picked up and it went viral on this Michigan State message board. And it's one thing when people say like you're a piece of shit and make fun of you for making a stupid video. That's one thing. I can handle that. But when people go further than that, that's a different story. Because these people at the time, MySpace was still the in thing for social media. Had one of those. Someone from this page or this message board hacked my MySpace page, put all my information out there, which all these years later I'm using my real name now anyway, which is, so what in that aspect. But started going after, made threats to do stuff to me, called my workplace, started making fun of deceased relatives of mine. And it was pretty bad. Got a little scary though, because, obviously you don't know what people online are capable of doing. But eventually I found out who some of those people were. And the crazy thing is they say you truly get a chance to see how two-faced people in this world really are. Like, they have their everyday life, but then they have like a secret life online. And the internet, let's just say this, it can definitely make the bravest of cowards. That's for sure. But I'll give you an example. One of the guys on there who was saying all these horrible things about my family and making the threats and whatnot. He was a freaking lawyer in the Chicagoland area, and he was also a Eucharistic minister in his church. He led a youth Bible study. He was did a lot of charity work in his community, and he was a member of the Knights of Columbus. So he does all these amazing things in his everyday life. But when you see some of the stuff that he says online, like F your dead relative and stuff like that, wow. And this is a man of God. But yet he's online calling people horrible names, making fun of deceased family members, threatening to call into their workplace, things like that. I actually exposed him. to his Knights of Columbus chapter. So yeah, that was an idea. That's just a taste of how bad things got back in those days with Michigan State fans. MySpace was, do you mean gutted? Or MySpace was goated? It still is, I'm sure. Yeah, do you mean goated or gutted, Playbook? Everyone is a tough guy when hiding behind a keyboard and screen. Absolutely. Cookie Fruit, it was nice to have you here, bud. It's always great talking to you. You need to get back on here and talk with me, like on the show, not just in the comments. You're awesome to talk to. We've had you on before. Okay, goated. I guess wasn't overly familiar with that term. Anyway, MySpace, I don't even think it exists anymore. I might be wrong, but okay, I guess it is still active. But it's a shell of its former self. No new articles have been published since early 2022, and existing songs or media cannot be played. The site's privacy policy was last revised on January 9th, 2023, and it's been placed on a strange read-only since then. Okay. I honestly didn't think it was still I didn't think it was still there. No, I know. Oh, okay. I guess I just Golden Playbook. I guess I just knew it as being the GOAT. That's all. I didn't know goated was, well, I thought the GOAT and goated were two different things. So Sean, what's your predictions for wins this year? Well, you heard it earlier, Nick. I'm never going to predict us to lose. What Ben and I do, we both decided a long time ago, what kind of fans would we be if we predicted us to lose? I can't do it. What I do, if we have a really tough opponent or whatever, what I do is I just explain what I think we need to do to win. What needs to be done, and if we don't do it, we're in trouble. But in all honesty, I do think we have a good shot at making the playoffs this year. But yeah, no, so I'm never going to predict us to lose, and then whatever happens on the field happens. And we react accordingly. But I like I said, I do think the playoffs are a strong possibility. We've been able to replace some key pieces that we lost with talent. And I think we're in a good spot. And I like the point. I saw this before I put it up on the screen, but you make a good point here, Nick. I think we go 12-0 because the big games are spread out, and we don't have 8 games in a row this year. Yeah, that's going to be a big help. You know, getting that rest in there instead of going through these long stretches. Oh, that's going to play a huge key factor. So. Well, I've gone this far. Might as well go make it an even 2 hours. So 3 minutes left on the show. But no, this show tonight turned out a lot better than I thought. Because I was thinking with the presidential debates going on, wasn't sure what the crowd was going to look like. And we also get a bye before the Florida State. Yes. So yeah, 3 minutes. Again, here's the link to come in. If anybody wants to talk, come on here. If anybody wants to come on here and talk, you better do it now. So, and I'll take the call and go as long as needed. Bronny James is a Laker. Being honest, dude, Sportsbook Lab, welcome in. Being completely honest, I don't really follow I don't follow the NBA anymore. Great job tonight, and I would rather be here than watching those two clowns. Well, like I said, I try not to comment on politics here. My personal channel, I do it all day long. Oh, gotcha. LeBron, he is LeBron's son. Yeah, no, my personal channel, I do pretty much whatever I want. Just with there being two of us here on the Two Irish Brothers channel, I have to, I can't just run amok. I am Fred. I am a follower of the ND Sean 45 and TIB channels on YouTube. Fred, man, we can't appreciate that that loyalty anymore. Nick Dean, I may call in next time. Got to go to bed now. Yeah, I have to myself pretty soon here. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. Because for work, I got to be up at 5 a.m. Like I said on the video that I posted earlier this week, I wish this could be our job. I wish Ben and I could make a living off of this, but fortunately, a lot of competition, and it just doesn't always work out how you want it to. We did do some work for the Voice of College Football Notre Dame page last year, but that just didn't work out. It was kind of tough for the two of us. Plus, when you're paired with a third wheel that you didn't exactly know about, it makes it even tougher. But yeah, Fred, thank you so much for that loyalty, man. We appreciate it. And like I said earlier this week, we got the people selected for the drawing that we're gonna do, the raffle drawing, and it's just a matter of trying to find the time to do it. But just you guys stay tuned, and we'll have it done. So, all right, guys. Well, we hit the 2-hour mark, so I'm probably gonna hop off of here. And thank you guys for making this a great show. I appreciate all the comments. And like I said, we encourage more of you guys to call in. That's what makes it more fun. That's what makes it a lot more fun when we actually get to interact with you guys on a more personal level. Which live chat's cool, don't get me wrong, but we'd like to actually talk to you guys. Keep doing collaborations with other big college football YouTubers. Hey, we're gonna try, man. We're gonna try. Joey Foster, love working with him. Christian Ballard, I can see us doing more videos with. So yeah, that's the idea, is do more collabs. And we're gonna have another a former Notre Dame player here on the channel pretty soon, doing an interview with him. So be on the lookout for that. And I won't give it away, but it's someone from the '88 national championship team. It's just all about finding the right date and the right time. I think if the offense can match the defense, which is the goal for players in Denbrock, then we are in the best place we have been since Lou Holtz. I agree. Excuse me. I agree. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, real quick. Where is it at? Thank you to all these guys, or thank you to all of you for not being like this guy. Like the one guy I talked about earlier. Okay. All right. We gotta love what Freeman is doing. He loves Notre Dame. He's always at hockey games and lacrosse games. Hopefully it pays off. Freeman is putting in the work. Yes, he is. I also saw he was at a WWE event recently too. I think it was SmackDown that he was on, or that he was there. So yeah, he's definitely a community guy, that's for sure. So, all right, guys. So I'm gonna hop off of here. Thank you all again for helping make this a damn good show tonight, and thank you guys as always for being viewers of ours. You know, Ben, it means a lot to Ben and I. The fact that we've crossed not only the 1,000 but the 1,100 subscriber threshold means more than you guys will ever know. And we're always grateful to our viewers because you guys give us the reason to do this. So, on that note, guys, as we always say every video, good night, God bless, and go Irish. Everybody have a great night, and God bless.